What I'm about to reveal to you was never meant for the modern world. It was sealed inside the combat rituals of ancient Japanese warriors, hidden behind discipline, pain, and absolute control. They called it Ibuki, not just breathing, a controlled internal detonation, a technique so intense, so biologically disruptive, that it was considered dangerous even among masters. And yet fragments of it survived, suppressed, diluted, misunderstood. Until now you feel it, don't you? That invisible ceiling. You train harder, push longer, but your strength plateaus. Your muscles burn, then fade. Recovery drags. Energy leaks out of you like a cracked vessel. You've been told it's normal, genetics, age, limits. That's the lie. The real problem is this. Your nervous system is asleep while your body is fighting alone. And a body without full neural ignition is operating at a fraction of its true capacity. I've seen this before. Athletes with perfect form, perfect diet, still trapped in mediocrity. Why? Because they never activated the internal trigger, the one Ibuki was designed to unlock. This is not about breathing for relaxation. This is about weaponizing breath to override your biological safeguards, to force your system into a state it normally resists. Think about this. Every muscle contraction you produce is not limited by the muscle itself, but by signals from your brain. Your brain is cautious. It holds you back to protect you. But Ibuki is how warriors bypass that governor. Short, explosive breaths, violent exhalations, rhythmic internal pressure. It sends a message directly into your nervous system. Release everything. And here's the part they never tell you. When done correctly, Ibuki doesn't just increase strength. It changes how your body recovers from damage. It alters oxygen delivery, cellular stress response, and neural firing patterns. It turns fatigue into fuel, pain into signal, weakness into raw output. You are not lacking strength, you are lacking access. And Ibuki is the key they tried to bury. You've been told strength lives in the muscle, that recovery lives in protein, in sleep, in time. That's only half the truth, and half the truth is how systems keep you weak. The real control center is deeper, hidden beneath conscious awareness, inside the wiring of your nervous system and the chemistry of your blood. Ibuki was never about air. It was about control over that hidden layer. And once you understand this mechanism, you will never breathe the same way again. Inside your body, there is a silent negotiation happening every second between oxygen and carbon dioxide. Most people think oxygen is the hero. It's not. Carbon dioxide is the gatekeeper. When your CO2 tolerance is low, your body panics. It restricts oxygen delivery, tightens blood vessels, and limits muscular output. That burning sensation you feel during exertion, that's not failure. That's your system shutting you down early. Ibuki was designed to hack this exact response. When you perform those sharp, explosive exhales, something violent happens internally. You spike pressure in your thoracic cavity. You stimulate the vagus nerve, the master regulator of your autonomic system. But here's the twist. Instead of calming you down like slow breathing techniques, Ibuki creates a controlled storm, a paradoxical state where your body is both hyperactivated and deeply regulated at the same time. This is where power is born. At the neural level, Ibuki forces rapid signaling between your brain and fast-twitch muscle fibers. These are the fibers responsible for explosive strength, speed, and impact. Normally, your brain keeps a portion of them locked away to prevent damage. But with each forceful breath, each contraction of your diaphragm, you are sending a signal that overrides hesitation. You are telling your system, release more now. And then, there's recovery. This is where it becomes almost unbelievable. The intense breathing pattern increases nitric oxide production, a molecule that expands blood vessels and accelerates oxygen delivery. At the same time, it creates brief, controlled stress at the cellular level, triggering repair pathways similar to what modern science calls adaptive stress response. In simple terms, you are teaching your body to rebuild faster than it breaks down. So understand this clearly. Ibuki is not mystical. It is biological warfare directed inward. It manipulates gas exchange, neural activation, and vascular response all at once. And once you activate this mechanism, your body stops behaving like a limited machine and starts behaving like something it was always meant to be. Now we enter the parts most people get wrong, not because it is complicated, but because it is precise. Ibuki is unforgiving. Small errors collapse the entire effect. And I've seen it too many times. People imitate the sound, the aggression, but miss the internal mechanics completely. What I'm about to give you is the real protocol, not the performance, the activation sequence. You begin with posture because without structure, pressure leaks. Stand upright or sit with your spine locked, but not stiff. Chin slightly tucked, chest open, but not exaggerated. Your abdomen must remain responsive, not rigid. Place one hand lightly on your lower belly if needed. This is your control center. If this area is passive, you are already failing. Now inhale, not slowly, not lazily. Draw the air sharply through your nose, directing it downward, expanding your lower abdomen first, then your ribs. This is critical. Most people breathe into their chest. That's weakness. Ibuki starts from the diaphragm. The inhale should feel like loading a spring. Controlled tension building internally. Then comes the release. A short, explosive exhale through the mouth. Sharp, audible, almost like a controlled strike. But here is the hidden detail. Your abdominal muscles contract inward at the exact moment of the exhale, compressing the air out with force. This is not just breathing out. This is expulsion, a pressure wave generated from your core. You repeat this rhythm. Inhale through the nose, load the pressure. Exhale through the mouth, release it violently. The tempo is steady but intense. Not frantic, not rushed. Each cycle must feel deliberate, like you are pumping energy through your system. 5 seconds is enough to feel the shift. 10 seconds and your body begins to react. But here is where mastery begins. On every third exhale, you tighten your entire body for a brief moment. Your fists, your core, your legs. A full body contraction synchronized with the breath. Then release immediately on the next inhale. This creates a neural spike, a signal amplification that most people never access. If done correctly, you will feel heat rising, a subtle pressure in your head, a sharpening of focus. Your body will feel charged, almost aggressive. That's not imagination. That's activation. That's your nervous system waking up and realizing it has been underused. Do not extend this beyond 30 to 60 seconds in the beginning. Ibuki is not about duration. It is about intensity and precision. Overuse it and your body will resist. Underuse it and nothing happens. There is a narrow window where the effect becomes undeniable. This is the protocol as it was meant to be practiced. Raw, direct, effective. And now you understand why so many fail. They breathe, but they never ignite. Now you are standing at the threshold where most people stop. They learn the basic pattern. They feel a surge, and they think they understand Ibuki. They don't. The true power of this technique was never in stillness. It was in integration. Warriors did not stand still on a battlefield. They moved, struck, endured, and recovered under extreme stress. Ibuki was designed to operate inside chaos. And if you fail to bring it into motion, you are only accessing a fraction of what it can do. You begin by inserting Ibuki before movement, right before a lift, a sprint, a strike. 10 to 20 seconds of the protocol you just learned, not casually with intent. You are priming your nervous system, forcing it into a heightened state of readiness. Then at the exact moment you initiate movement, you release a short, sharp exhale. This is critical. This exhale acts like a trigger, synchronizing breath with force production. Miss this timing and you lose the amplification effect. Now during movement, you do not continue full Ibuki breathing. That's a mistake. Instead, you extract fragments of it, short bursts, micro exhales aligned with effort. Every push, every pull, every impact is paired with a controlled breath release. This stabilizes your core, increases intra-abdominal pressure, and protects your spine while simultaneously increasing output. It is subtle, but the difference is massive. Then comes the phase almost no one talks about. Recovery between sets. This is where Ibuki becomes something else entirely. Instead of collapsing into slow passive breathing, you perform a reduced intensity version. Shorter exhales, less aggressive, but still rhythmic. What you are doing here is accelerating the clearance of metabolic waste while maintaining neural activation. You are teaching your body not to shut down after effort, but to reset faster. And now, the advanced layer. After your final set, when your body is fatigued and your breathing is chaotic, you return to full Ibuki for one last cycle. This is the most difficult moment to execute it, and that's exactly why it matters. You are forcing your system to regain control under stress. This is how adaptation is locked in. This is how recovery pathways are reinforced. Over time, something changes. Your transitions become sharper. Your strength feels more immediate. Your recovery shortens in ways that seem unnatural. And you begin to notice something else. You are no longer waiting for energy to return. You are generating it on command. This is the difference between practicing a technique and embodying it. Ibuki is no longer something you do. It becomes something that runs through every movement you make. Now listen carefully, because this is where doubt tries to creep in. You will feel something immediately, yes, but your mind will question it. It will try to reduce it, to label it as temporary, insignificant. That hesitation is the exact barrier that has kept this technique hidden in plain sight. Because the transformation Ibuki creates does not arrive as a miracle. It arrives as a sequence, precise, measurable, relentless. Within the first session, the shift is undeniable. Your body heats up faster. Your focus sharpens. There is a sudden clarity, almost aggressive, like your system has been switched into a higher gear. This is neural activation. Your brain is increasing its communication speed with your muscles, recruiting fibers that were previously dormant. You may even feel slightly uncomfortable, like your body is operating beyond its usual boundaries. Good. That means it's working. Within 3 days, something more subtle begins to emerge. Your recovery between efforts shortens. The same workout that once exhausted you now feels manageable. Not easy, but controlled. This is where most people make a critical mistake. They assume they need to push harder. No. You maintain intensity, but you observe. Because what's changing is not just strength, it's efficiency. Your body is wasting less energy, coordinating better, responding faster. By the end of the first week, the difference becomes visible. Muscle fatigue no longer lingers the same way. That deep soreness, that heavy, delayed stiffness begins to fade faster. This is where the internal chemistry has shifted. Increased nitric oxide, improved circulation, enhanced oxygen delivery. But more importantly, your system has learned to recover while still active. It no longer collapses into shutdown mode after stress. 2 to 3 weeks in, the real transformation begins. Your explosive power increases, movements feel sharper, more immediate. There is less hesitation between intention and action. This is the nervous system rewiring itself. Faster signaling, stronger recruitment, greater synchronization. You are no longer forcing output, you are accessing it. And then comes the point most people never reach because they quit too early. Around the 1-month mark, Ibuki stops feeling like a technique. It becomes automatic. Your breathing under stress changes without conscious effort. Your body stabilizes itself faster. Your recovery becomes something you control, not something you wait for. This is the timeline, not a promise, a process. And if you follow it precisely, the result is not improvement. It is transformation at a level most people never realize is possible. Now you understand why this was never openly taught. Not because it doesn't work, but because it works too well when used without awareness. Ibuki is not calming. It is not gentle. It is a controlled override of systems your body normally protects. And if you approach it carelessly, if you treat it like just another breathing exercise, you will either get nothing or you will push yourself into a state you are not ready to handle. This is the warning they never explained. When you force your nervous system into heightened activation repeatedly without control, you can create imbalance. Too much tension, too much internal pressure, restlessness instead of focus. That's why precision matters. That's why restraint is part of mastery. Ibuki is not about doing more. It is about doing it exactly right. But here is the truth most people avoid. You are already operating below your capacity. You are already holding back, whether you realize it or not. Every time you stop because something feels too intense, too uncomfortable, too unfamiliar, That is your limiter speaking. And Ibuki was designed to confront that limiter directly. Not destroy your body, but challenge the false boundaries your brain has built around it. So now the question is simple. Are you going to ignore this like everything else that demands discipline? Or are you going to test it? Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now. Because readiness is a myth. Action is the only gateway. I challenge you to do this. Right after this, stand up, set your posture, execute the protocol for 20 seconds. Feel what happens inside your body, the pressure, the heat, the clarity. Then move. A push-up, a sprint, a lift, anything. And notice the difference. Not imagined, measurable, immediate. And then repeat it tomorrow and the next day. Not endlessly, precisely, controlled, consistent. Because this is how you unlock what has been dormant. Not through motivation, not through theory, through execution. You were never lacking strength, you were lacking access. And now you don't have that excuse anymore. If this revelation has changed the way you perceive the hidden potential of your own body, subscribe to our channel and like this video. We are excavating the ancient secrets that time tried to bury. Ignite your future. The next vault of knowledge will open soon.